Okay, welcome. Day one to our fun little 5-day challenge. So like I said, these videos are going to be very short. So in each post, there's going to be a description of what the video is about, what the tool is of the day, with an explanation of how to use that tool, and then all the guide posts below regarding how you receive your points and all of that. So we'll do that every day for each day of the challenge. So today's day one, and the challenge is Oracle or Tarot card reading. Now, some of you may know how to do this, but I want you to take it to another level. So you can use an Oracle deck, or you can use a tarot deck. I don't have a tarot set because I don't really resonate with tarot cards, so I never use them. But you can also use a normal deck of cards. Now, the thing about using this tool, we're setting the intention for using the tool to get a message. It really doesn't matter what the tool is. Now, in shamanic practices, we use rocks, so we use sticks, we use pieces of wood, and we call it scrying, where we tune in and connect with that specific tool and ask a question and receive a message. So it's really about the intention of receiving a message in whatever the tool is that we're using. So like I said, today we're going to use Oracle cards or a deck of cards. Now, if you're using a normal deck of cards, what you can do is when you pick a card from the deck, let me know and I'll tell you the meaning of what that card means, because I do tarot card readings or card readings with a normal deck of cards. So I can tell you what the meaning for that card is, and then you can go back and reflect on that. So here's what we're gonna do. The procedure is, what I want you to do is get into a quiet space. Now, you can do this anywhere. So you could do it in your car, you can do it wherever. So it's not about that. I just want you to bring yourself present. So you can take a couple deep breaths in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And what that does is kind of brings you back into your body, get you centered into the moment, into the present. And what I want you to do is shuffle the cards. And while you're shuffling the cards, you're going to ask a question. So the exercise for today is you want to get an answer to a question. So be open to what the message is. Be open to several messages that you may get, and then just roll with that. So the thing about increasing your awareness, coming into your gifts, is really about surrender and letting go. It's not about controlling. So if you want to do this perfectly in a perfect way, I'm going to ask you just to surrender and let go of that, because really it's about just being in the present, in the moment of how it goes, and kind of just rolling with it. So shuffle your cards until they feel like they're complete or a card pops out of the deck. Usually I shuffle until a card pops out, and then I know that I'm done. And then if a card pops out in your deck, that's going to be your card. If it's 1, 2, or 3 cards, that's your reading for the day, is all of those cards, and you can just line them up. And what I want you to do when you pick your card, so we're going to pick one card unless several cards pop out, and then you're going to use all those cards, and you're just going to look at them. You can look at them for a second, feel into them, touch them, put your hand on top of the card if you'd like. See if you get sensations of heat or coolness, or when you put your hand on them, if you get a message. So if you don't get a message, what you can do is close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just say, is there a message for me, or what is the message? Now, don't freak out if you don't get a message. This may be the first time you're doing this exercise, and that's totally okay, because what's going to happen is sometimes we don't get the message right in that moment, but we will hours later, several hours later. We'll get it through a conversation that we've had from someone, or there'll be validation to a meaning in the card. Someone else will say the same thing, and then we'll be like, oh, and it sinks in. Okay, so this is kind of how reading cards goes. And as you practice this more, you're going to get more and more messages, and it's going to be easier and more flow with for you, because you start to trust the process. You start to get validated on your messages, right? Okay, so that's preliminary, is kind of just listening to the cards, seeing if you get a message, seeing if a thought pops into your head, or if you get a smell. Yes, I've done cards and sometimes I get tobacco smoke, or I smell flowers or something like that. It rarely happens, but it does happen. So you're going to tune into all your senses and see what comes up for you. And then what I want you to do, if you have an oracle deck or a tarot card deck, you're going to have a little book that's going to have the explanation for those cards. I want you to go ahead and read the explanation for those cards, and then sit with that message for a minute, and then see if anything else comes up for you. See if you get a feeling in your body, or a part of your body starts to hurt, or you get a thought in your head, or you have a sensation or a smell. All these are messages, and for each person, they're going to be unique and special to that person. And so when you feel like you're complete with this exercise, when you feel like you've gotten a message or not, then you can put everything away and go about your day. So a couple things are going to happen. You're going to write done in the comments after watching the video. You're going to share a comment about what your experience was. You got nothing, you got this message, you got this message, this was right on, the cards were right on. And then what we'll do is we'll discuss all this, okay? So you're not left out in the cold. This is something that we're going to expand on so that I can give you more tips on how to practice using this tool more and more. So just so you know, oracle cards, I used to do oracle cards every day. I would shuffle, and pull a card, and that would be kind of my theme for the day, or a message that I needed to hear for that day going forward. So you can use it like that. You can use it as an exact reading for what's going on in your life, or for what's coming up in the near future, or just to ask questions. So there's several ways to use these tools. And your normal deck of cards, let me know and I'll tell you what the meanings are. So you can just post that in the comment. I used a regular deck of cards, and these are the cards that I got, and I'll tell you what they mean. Okay, so this is just a fun way for you to get over the hurdle of maybe even using them because you feel like you don't know how to use them, and just playing with this, because the more joy you have, the more fun, the less judgment you have around this, your vibration raises, and the more messages are going to come in. So there's no stress around this. There's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just, let's have a little bit of fun. If you do not have a deck of cards at all, even like a normal set of playing cards, what I want you to do is grab a rock outside or grab a stick. And what I want you to do is kind of set your intention that you're going to have a question, you're going to get an answer to that question, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to hold that item and you're just going to look at it. And then you're going to look at it for a little bit and ask for a message or an answer. And then if you feel like you're not getting anything, go ahead and close your eyes, because in your mind's eye, you can still see that object, right? And you're going to continue to ask for a message, and then just relax. So this isn't ask the question over and over again. It's more of a ask the question and relax. And just start to become aware of sensations in your body, smells, things around you, noises, messages that you might hear, and then write notes, take notes, and then just sit with the answers that you receive for the rest of the day. And if you're doing this at night, maybe overnight, and ask for validation or clarification when you go to bed. And then let's share in the comments. So there's ways to get points for this challenge, right? One is to say done and watch the video. Two is to actually do the exercise and comment your results. There's points for sharing the link of our page to a friend and have them join. You get 2 points for that. So it's just a little fun thing. And, 2 people, the top leaders, are going to win free sessions with me of their choice. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. If you need clarification of anything, please use the thread that this is in, ask a question, and I'll clarify whatever you need. All right, have fun with your cards or your other tool if it's not cards, and I'll see you soon.